Susie, it's Uncle Freddie. Is Daddy home? Uncle Freddie, get your daddy, please. Get your father, Susan. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Stearns? Hi, Fred Stanley down at Mutual Insurance. Sorry to bother you around dinner time, but I was just going over your homeowner's policy, and I was kind of shocked to see that you don't have very much life insurance. Yes, well, $5,000 isn't very much, Mr. Stearns. I know you don't care what happens to you when you die, but what about your wife and kids, Mr. Stearns? Your wife has a job. Okay, but let's say something were to happen, and she wasn't able to work. Well, let's say there was a car accident, and you were fatally injured, and your wife paralyzed for life. She won't be able to work then, would she, Mr. Stearns? Or, let's say you and the missus go to see a play in New York City. You come out of the theater, you get mugged, a gun goes off, and bam, you got a bullet in the brain. You're in a coma for months and months and months. Your wife has to quit her job just to come see you in the hospital. What would happen then, Mr. Stearns? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about cancer, Mr. Stearns? What about cancer? No, I know you're having dinner right now, but this might be the most important decision you ever make in your life. Mr. Stearns, I've seen it time and time again. Husband dies, wife's left with no pension, no life insurance, she has a mortgage to pay off. You know, of course, Mr. Stearns, most women in this country outlive their husbands. 100,000 widows in this country, Mr. Stearns. 100,000. What? No, she probably won't get remarried, Mr. Stearns. Very few women do. Mr. Stearns, follow me for just a second, will you? You died. You're dead. You're in the ground. Mrs. Stearns is left with no pension, no life insurance. She has a mortgage to pay off. Little Susie's in the hospital with some kind of rare bone disease. What happens then, Mr. Stearns? Have you thought about that? Have you thought about it? Do you know how many widows are homeless, Mr. Stearns? And do you know how many homeless women become prostitutes, Mr. Stearns? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you're a loving father and husband, and you want best for little Susie and, Edwina. Lovely name, Edwina. And you would hate to leave Edwina and Susie unprotected in this cold and frightening and, let's be honest with each other, Mr. Stearns, perverse and disturbed world we live in today. Why, I can show you a street corner in New York City where little girls, no more than 15 years old, are selling themselves, and their mother's standing right next to them. What? Oh, yes. Oh, I'd say around $250,000 worth would do the trick. Easy terms. We'll work something out, don't worry. When can you come by? Tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll be here all day. 11 o'clock? That would be great, Mr. Stearns. Look, Mr. Stearns, we'll figure something out tomorrow. Mr. Stearns, don't worry about the cost. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Mr. Stearns, get back to your roast beef dinner and say hi to Edwina for me. And Mr. Stearns, take care.